Okay, so today, before we start the new chapter, I will explain, review shortly the previous lessons. Then we can start the chapter 10, so about the revision class. Can I move? Is okay? Then you can adjust. Yeah. Okay? Okay, so more easy to know about the subject. I will review shortly what we study in the past. So generally, first I draw one like this. This symbolic of all phenomena, clear all phenomena. So make sure you won't have any confusion. So according to Buddhist philosophy, Buddhist tradition, doesn't matter which phenomena, thing is be phenomena, we must include into phenomena. Doesn't matter permanent, impermanent, formula, what we call phenomena. Right? Simply, the phenomena you can divide into, you can have two categories, all phenomena. Clear? Okay. What does mean phenomena? Does mean the phenomena, existent, object of knowledge, those are synonymous. You can call this is an object of knowledge, this is an object, this is a phenomena, this is a existent phenomena. All synonymous, but it has a different definition, different meaning. But actually, those are just same. So impermanent and permanent. Okay. When you think about phenomena, you just think there are only two types. Something is a permanent phenomena, something be impermanent. Only two types of phenomena. All phenomena must include into two types, which is impermanent and permanent. Okay, now we have been studying about the impermanent, right? So before we move to the threes, can you tell me the synonymous of the impermanent phenomena? Impermanent, conditioned phenomena, functional phenomena, cause, condition, those are synonymous, okay? That means this marker pen is impermanent, right? It is impermanent. Why? It is changing momentarily. Why this phenomena changing momentarily? Because it is arise from causes and condition. The causes and condition has changed, this marker pen must change. That means it is impermanent. Why it is called condition phenomena? It is depend on condition. Also is a product, right? Impermanent. This is a cause because it has its own effect. This is a effect because it has its own cause. That means those are synonymous, impermanent. So within the impermanence, we have only three categories. Number one, form. Now we have been studying about the form, right? Like a form. That means form. Number two, consciousness or awareness, right? Consciousness. Number three, non-associated formative factor. In this book said, non-associated formative factor. Right? That means 3. Now make sure you are very clear about first phenomena, impermanent and permanent. Impermanent has a synonymous. Phenomena has a synonymous. Now impermanent you can divide into only 3 types, 3 categories, which is form, consciousness, non-associative formation, non-associative formative formation factor. Right? So we have been studying about the form. Right? Form. Now form you can divide into 2 form, right? Form or matters. Divide into only 2 types. Clear? Form, consciousness, non-associative formative factor. Formative factor. Form has 2 types, which is internal and external phenomena. Is form, right? Then external you can divide into 5. External also, internal into 5, right? Make sure form has 2 types, external and internal. Internal has 5 types, mainly the 5 faculty, right? The 5 faculty. So, can you remember what does mean internal and external form, the meaning? Conjoined with the consciousness form we call internal. The form which is not conjoined with the consciousness we call external. External form, right? Then they use another English term. There's a concomitant. Yeah, concomitant. That means, for example, your skin, when somebody pull, you feel hurt because it's conjoined with the consciousness. After someone dead, someone passed away, if somebody pull their hands and leg, there's no feeling. They cannot hurt because there's no more feeling. That means internal has 5 types, mainly 5 faculty. External has how many types? 5 or 2? 5 plus 1. Okay, that means mainly, what are the 5? Yeah, visible form, sound, smell, taste, tactility. Yeah, generally we can say, generally there are 5 types of external form. Now I think you are very clear about what are the 5. Each of has a different subdivision. Now mainly we are studying about. We have been studying about the 4 elements. Right, 4 elements. Now, this is we call form. Rest of 2 we call consciousness and non-associative formative factor. This is so important. Why we call form? For example, this marker pen, is a form. So now we need to study how the form became, or how the form really exists. That means, do you remember, there are mainly the causal primary elements. That means any types of form, external, internal, gross, subtle, whichever, all forms must depend on 4 elements. 4 elements. Make sure. That means any types of form must arise from 4 elements, mainly depending on four elements. Can you think some form? Can you imagine there's a form? Can you say there's a form which is not depending on four elements? Can you think? Can you imagine something? Cannot, right? Can or cannot? Really? Okay. Now everybody say there's not such a form which is not arise from four elements. Okay. If you remember the previous lesson, then I say, okay, what about the light? Light, sunlight, light. What about light? What about the voice? Voice. No. How the light, natural, we have a natural light, we have artificial light. How the light, whatever light, how the light depending on four elements. For you, for example, this light very easy because this light coming from the thup. The thup itself is a earth element. But the light comes from electric. The electric produced from heat. There's a kind of fire elements. There's a water elements. Depend on different. It must depend on oil. Depend on petrol. Petrol, diesel include into water elements. That means any form must arise from four elements. Within the four elements, it has a two types: water elements, earth element, fire elements. Right? The light has a water elements, but we cannot see the water. But it has a water elements. It has a fire elements, but it doesn't have a fire. But you must differentiate fire elements, water elements. You can say water and water energy, fire energy, earth energy. Okay, four elements. Then four. Do you remember? Okay, before looking your book, name of the four elements, essential nature and function. So wind, what is the elements? Essential nature, lightness and mobility. Okay, look at when you think about the winds, like wind, the wind nature is a very lightness. It's also mobility, mean move. Its nature is a movement. It has a nature of movement, learning. Then function. What is the function of the wind? Increasing. Okay, don't look your book. I ask without looking your book. Huh? Okay, what is the essential nature of the fire? Warmth, right? Warmth. Function, maturing. Essential nature of the water, moistness. Function, bonding. Are you looking at a book? I thought Nick has did a good homework. Okay. What's the essential nature of the earth? Nick, don't look at the book. What's the nature of the earth? Solidity. Function, supporting. Okay, that means earth, solidity, function, supporting. Water, nature is moisten, bonding. Fire, warmth, moisturing. Wind, lightness and mobility. The function is increasing. Here, big debate between this day, like a modern scientists, particularly the physicists, and Buddhists, between Buddhists, like a Buddhist people, Buddhist scholar. So according to your knowledge, based on your knowledge, based on the modern science, they believe in the moon there's no air, no wind, right? No air, no wind. According to Buddhist philosophy, Buddhist tradition, we believe wherever is a form, there must be a air, there must be air elements. Right? Because a modern scientists, they don't really differentiate the gross wind and subtle, very subtle wind. So moon has a wind, it has a subtle wind. Because there's a form, there's a stone, right? Stone. When the stone many particles come together, is bonding together because of the water, right? So when you really break the stone, you can see inside the stone, you can see some hollow, like hollow. If there's a space. If there's a space, the space contains something. Mainly contain the wind elements. Okay? So we study about the 4 elements, how all form arises from 4 elements. Do you remember the 5 elements? Plus 1 space, okay? Another we add 1 more. That means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we just start from here. Space elements. The space we count as an element, but it's not actually, it is element, but because space. Space, number 1 space. Number 2 must be what? Within the 4, wind. Space, wind, then no. Don't shoot arrow in the darkness. Number 1, space. Number 2, wind or air, wind. Number 3, water. Number 4, earth. Number 5, fire. This is how, according to Buddhist science, according to the Buddhist psychology, how the 4 elements, put in order. First, there's a space. Without space, cannot be happen. Nothing can be happen, right? Must be space mean totally empty. You can think about emptiness, empty. Then there's a empty, within the empty space, there's a air, wind or wind. Wind can be the gross or subtle. Now here you can raise one question. Yes, we can believe, we can accept, billions of years ago, there must be, just empty space where now the world is exist, empty. Second, within the empty, there must be a air, wind. Where the wind come from? Generally, now when you go outside, you can feel the air. Air come from where? Huh? Tree, space. Then why something is windy, something no windy? How is happen? Huh? Movement come from where? Okay, that means, so billions years ago, there wasn't, the star, wasn't sun and moon. there must be totally empty space. Right? When you look from the moon into the earth, in between there's a totally empty. But still you can see a lot of galaxy between. Okay. Space and wind. Wind come from where? At that time. That time wasn't tree, there wasn't any other movement. There wasn't water, exist yet. Okay. What actually, okay, generally you should not confuse in the conventional, in the conventional level and the, beyond the conventional level. For example, when we say, okay, we don't have some. For example, so you can see here, you saw incense, right? Now, what is inside? Empty, nothingness. There's nothing, right? So look at, according to the conventional level, in the worldly people say there's nothing. It's not truth. This empty is full of air. There's nothing we can say is total empty. Can you say? Actually, reality, you cannot say there's nothing. If you say there's nothing, you can say empty. You can see there's something because there's an empty. Empty is a phenomena. Empty, right? There's empty. You should not say there's a nothing. You say there's no incense. There's no any other types of form. But still there's something. Yes, therefore, we should not say my glass is totally empty. You should not say my pocket is totally empty. my pocket is full of emptiness. Empty, that's empty. Therefore, should not mix. When you study, philosophical term, you should not mix your daily or the common view and the beyond the common view. Okay. So we say empty, it doesn't mean it's totally empty. There's nothing. Do you remember, according to the Vajrayana teaching, we call space particles. I said many times, space particle. If there's nothing totally empty, actually there's nothing that cannot be formed after billions years after. There's something there. Due to that basis, then slowly it's happened, what we call empty space, but not is totally empty. It's empty of cross form. There's no cross form, but there's a lot of hundreds of billions of particles is always there. Then the particles are just stay in one place. It's moving one place to another place. It's moving constantly, moving everywhere. Because there's a air, there's a movement, there's a moving, there's a air. That means space, then there's a air. After air, then there's a water. Due to the water, there's a earth. Now just think about our world. We stay on where? We stay on the land. The land is on where? On the water. Everything on where? Depend on the empty space. Just imagine, you are on we are on the one of the planets. Everything is constantly moving. Right? Between there's a lot of space. That means there's a empty space, then there's a water, then there's a earth, then there's a fire. Fire or fire element. Without earth, there cannot be fire, there cannot be fire elements. Mainly fire made of what? So we have a wood fire, we have electric fire, we have many different types of fire. All fire must depend on certain types of earth, certain types of phenomena like form. That means this is the order how 5 elements function. First space, then earth, water, earth, then fire. So here's very important. Within our body made of mainly what? Flesh, bone, blood, 4 elements. 4 elements. When we study very closely each of the elements, it's very interesting. Let's say you have a cup of water. The cup is completely full of water. Water, right? If somebody take only one particle, one water particle, you cannot see there's a changes. Can you see? If somebody take just one particle from the cup, you cannot see the water is become lesser. Actually, it's become bit lesser, right? Because one particle has gone. Then two particle, three. That's why we should not think just one particle cannot change much. It change much. Then when you drink water, if you drink just one spoon of water, it change your body. You cannot see the big changes, but the effect is there. Therefore, next we talk about 6 elements. Right? So this is the concept, mainly the common teaching, Sutra and Tatrayana, space, so and so. Then, next, do you remember the 6 elements? Wood. Now it's mainly come from the medical text. Wood. Right? That means then wood, air, water, earth, and fire. So when you study closely for the 6 elements, then you must know something why you feel so heavy. You feel your body is so heavy. Sometimes you feel my body today is very light, look like you can fly. Right? We have this experience. Sometimes you feel so hot, but the weather is very cooling, but you feel hot. The weather is so hot, but sometimes you feel yourself, I'm very cool. You feel coolness. Why? You are living in the same place with your friend. Your friend said weather is so hot. You say no, weather is so cool. Because you and your friend has a different elements within your body. So therefore, many people, this day, we have so many different kinds of sickness and disease. Tibetans said, medically, simply said, all disease of eating. Tibetan doctor says, all sickness of eating. If you control your food, if you eat, the right amount, the right food, you can have a less sickness. But also, according to modern scientists, also they said genetic sickness. Can you believe? So you got the problem because your parent has. Or your parents got the problem because the finally come from where? Beginning from whom? It's passed from, your parents. It's come from where? Beginningless, no. Yeah. But Tibetan, according to Tibetan medicine, is simply, they said, all sickness of eating. Right? Then they very much, when they check their pulse, they really emphasize about the and also very much emphasize about the jaundice, phlegm, and wind. Particularly, they very much emphasize the wind. Because they said all the sickness, disease is mainly arises from the wind. Also, it's going to ending by wind. If you're able to control the wind, you can control your sickness. Then it's also mentioned, so we have an inner 4 elements. Also, we have a outer 4 elements. Have you finished? This part is mentioned how the yogi can control. Right? As is mentioned somewhere. 140. Okay, thank you. 140. Which line number? Okay. Okay, this is mentioned. Look at. So we have a, inner four elements. We have a external four elements. So if you're able to fully control your four elements within your body, you can control the external elements. How? For example, when we say I feel so hot, because the outside weather is very hot, is also truth, but it's depend on you. You can be cool, you can be hot within the hot weather. How? Because you need to know how to control for your four elements within your body. If you increase your wind and water in your body, suddenly you feel very cool. Right? Then the external hot cannot affect you. That's why all the yogi who practice in the Himalaya, in the like snow mountain, actually what simply they control the four elements within their body. Sometimes the weather is so hot, they increase the fire elements. Sometimes the weather is so hot, they increase the water or air elements. It's very simple. Okay, now we study about our 6 elements. Do you remember how the wood, fire, air, water, earth can get you different types of sickness and disease? Do you remember? Huh? I think you open the book when you come to DBC, look like. Right? Okay, the wood enter the nerves, then feel heaviness, right? Okay, what's the page number? 139, yeah. Vajrayana text suggests pick the 5 primary elements: earth, water, fire, wind, and space. The medical text is mentioned, the illness of the heaviness and torpor are caused by poison of the primary elements of the entering the flesh and bones. Okay, you must study about the 4 elements, what kind of sickness and disease you have. You can have, right? Okay, now the new chapter. So, at the moment, we just say we finish, study about the form. Now we just move to the third one, which is non-associative formative factor. Now just think about our life, ourselves. We have a body. This body includes into form. Any parts of body, your hair, your knees, your finger, your leg, flesh, bone, everything included into form. Because it is arise or produced from 4, 5, 6 elements. Okay? Now, within the 4, okay, all 4. Now, you remember here, let's say, you must remember, like 4 elements. The 4 elements always function, work together, okay? One element missing, you cannot stand as nothing stand as a form. But you can see sometimes within the one particular as a more water element, less air elements, more fire element, less rest of them, right? But they must work together balancedly or imbalancedly. For example, it's very simple logic, simple test. I think when you make a dough, I don't think everybody make a bread in home. When you make a dough, what do you need? You need flour and water. If you add more water, what become? It's become very watery. That time there's a water, there's a earth, but water element is a more. Then we become liquid. Right? When you put a less water, more dough, more flour, what happened? It's become powder. It's never become bound together. It's always separate. That's why you have to put the water and flour equal or the right amount. That means you just imagine any kinds of form, the gross form, subtle form, must made of 4 elements, right? 4 elements. Let's say this is water, this is earth. Water elements made of 4 elements. Clear? Let's say this is just water. Big piece of this water. Then wind again, wind, water. So this is piece of, let's say a drop of water. A drop of water. The drop of water arise or made of what? 4 elements. Within the drop of water, it has 4 elements. Now we just bring, within the 4, we just bring, let's say, fire elements. Just take out from here. If there's no fire, then what will happen? What if there are not any fire elements in the water? Then doesn't matter how much you boil, it never become hot, right? For example, just this you're like a thumbs. You just rough on the books. Slowly your finger become hot. It become hot. It doesn't mean piece of hot from the book transform into your finger. No, your finger has already have a fire elements. Two together, the fire element increase. Now, big question I said you, look at, this is a drop of water made of 4 elements. Within the 4 elements, you just bring the fire element. You make it separate. But within the fire elements, it has again 4 elements. Become more subtle. Now we just, bring one of the small, then let's say, again it has 4 elements. You just take out again the fire elements. Again, 4 elements. Now you just imagine, you just break down all the way to the most smallest parts. So this smallest parts also made of what? 4 elements. They look like it's become endless. Right? Do you think it's become endless? Let's believe, like the metaphysics, like in the mathematical. So, for example, we have $1 has how many cents? 100 cents, right? $1 has how many cents? 100 cents. 1 cent has how many value? It must have something. Otherwise, how it's become 1 cent? That's why just think about time, hour, then minute, second, millisecond, nanosecond, then nano, then no. They said no second. no, because we don't have the math knowledge. It's divided into most subtle. Infinity, shorter number, smaller number, is there any? Look at, so time we can, like time, we divide into most, all the way smaller. Then same thing, the form. First is a gross, subtle, more subtle, more subtle, more subtle, more subtle, more subtle. If you track all the way, then there's 2 different views from the Buddhist philosophical. That's why the first 2 lower school, which is Vaibhashika and Sutantika school. Okay, it's very simple. Come, look. I'm sure it's not permanent, huh? And no, we don't have permanent pen, right? Permanent marker pen. But conventionally, we have to say this is permanent, this is impermanent, right? Look at, according to the first, we have a 4 Buddhist philosophical school, right? What are they? Vaibhashika, Sutanteka, Chitta Mantra, Madhyamaka. So, let's say this is a particle. Let's say each particle, when you divide into 4, you can see there's 4 particles in water, so and so. Now we just bring one particle, is divided into many pieces. Finally, first two schools say, finally there must be partless particle. You cannot divide anymore. Partless particle. They assert partless particle. They accept timeless consciousness. Timeless consciousness. Particle, you can understand that. Partless means finally you cannot divide anymore. It becomes subtlest particle. It cannot divide anymore. It doesn't have any parts. It exists as a very independent. Okay. Now think about timeless consciousness. Can you understand roughly what does mean? Simulus? Yeah, momentless. You can say timeless. For example, when I click, right, you can divide into many times. So consciousness, first moment, second moment, third moment. Second moment, consciousness divided into 360 moment. Even though this clip moment, you have a thought. You have a short thought about something. One moment, thought. This thought has if you want to divide, it has a 360 duration. 360. Within the 360, like that, the timing or duration is the subtlest or moment, shortest moment. Then it cannot divide anymore. That's called, timeless consciousness or momentless consciousness. That means clear. I say click. Right. You thought about something for 1 moment, 1 minute. Thought something 1 minute, but it still can have a duration. How many? 360. Within the 360, one of them you cannot divide anymore. They're called momentless or timeless consciousness, partless particle. But through our school, they don't accept partless particle. They don't accept, timeless consciousness. That means still have a doubt. That means one particle divided into million times. Within the million time particle, can you divide or not? You cannot divide anymore. Why we cannot? Because we don't have ability, or it cannot divide in the reality level. Generally, first, to lower school to accept partless. Now the upper school said there's no partless particle. Understand? Partless particle. Then if we ask question to the higher school, okay, the particle, the smallest particle, it has a many parts? Yes. If it has a many, can we divide into many pieces? Can we break into many pieces? Then what the answer will be from the upper school? If say yes, then we ask, just bring, one pieces from them. If we can depart furthermore, then it's become limit, like totally limitless. Doesn't make sense. If there's no any other paths, then what question? Matter of what? Matter of what? Even though this question still remain to the, we can ask the question, same question to the, the modern physicist. Okay, so we just stop here. Non-consciousness, non-associative, formative factor. So which is we have our body, so we have a mind, that we ourselves include into formative factor. Make sure you include into form. All the minds include into consciousness. You, we include into non-associative formative factor. Because neither is form nor consciousness. Still it is be impermanence. That means the thing be impermanence, neither form nor consciousness must be included into non-associative formative formation. Everybody just think about, is there something, something which is permanent, not include into three of them. Impermanent, generally. Make sure you understand my question. Just think something is be, something be, being permanent, condition, permanent, impermanent, be impermanent, be conditioned phenomena, but not include into three of them, any of three. Just think, use your, just think, what do you call it in modern terms, there's a brainstorm, make a brainstorm. Something come out. Think. Think. Not really? Think. What about, okay, I think everybody is going to say, there's nothing which is be impermanent, not include into three of them, include into any of them, right? You're going to say, are you? No? Yes? Really? Don't know. Very, very honest, very good. What about energy, time, energy? We really, as Buddhists, we believe energy. What about energy? Do you believe in energy? Yes. What about energy? What energy? Any kinds of energy. Yeah, energy, motion, time, energy, motion. Huh? Okay. Can you see the energy? Cannot. Can you see the force? Force. Of course, somebody push you, you are moving because of the force by someone. What about force? Huh? Huh? Can touch the force? Then how, the things moving by force? The force cannot touch to the things. Then how things moving? let's say this is a force or energy, this is a book. When the energy come close to the book move, fly away, is something happen. Is something happen because the book contract or interact with the force, energy. Does mean energy touch to the book, right? Touch or without touching? Touch. If the force touch the book, this means the force must be the form. Formless cannot force. Tactility is included into form already.
So that's considered motion, right?
Yeah. No. Motion is happen. We have a motion because of the force of energy. Something moving around. Because many people say, in my house has a ghost. Something is moving, right? You never thought there's an energy, there's a force. You never think there's a kind of pressure by air. So many things can be happen. Not necessarily it's happened by ghosts. You should not think something moving on the floor. You should not scared. There's a ghost. It can be moved by anything, energy, force, pressure. For example, let's say you have a metal plate in your flower, and your neighbor has a very strong magnetic. If you move the magnetic around there, the plate can be moved, right? Then you really scared. There's a ghost dividendly. You hold, it's still moving. You thought somebody pushing. It can be That means it's mainly energy, force, also. I think my pocket is empty of money. Okay, so think about times, and also past, future, present, time are the form or consciousness or not necessarily formative formation. Formative formation. It's simply they put in this category. If you really debate, it's not easy. For example, we have a consciousness. Consciousness has a energy. Right? Energy. If you really closely study, you cannot see the energy of the consciousness not separate from the consciousness. It can be like consciousness itself. But simply, the energy, time, force, everything included into non-associative formative factor. Simply because it's impermanent, neither form nor consciousness, that's why it included into this way. Now we study, follow the books. Yes?
How about dream elephant?
Okay. Dream elephant also same. Dream elephants, very good question. Do you remember? You said plus mental object. Mental object. Yes, there's another type of form we call mental object. For example, the subtle particles we include into mental object. Right? That means, for example, you can see the pen, but you cannot see the very subtle, particle with the pen. There's a billions of subtle particles, but you cannot see through your naked eyes. It's there, but you cannot see it. It's there. It's there. How we know it's there? We know through the sixth mind. You should not think about sixth mind. Third eyes is different. Huh? Many people say third eyes. The sixth mind is a mind which is not included into the five senses. We call sixth mind. For example, particles included into the mental object. Then also, do you remember how many mental objects? Huh? Okay, it doesn't matter. You go, do homework. Mental object. The elephant, dream elephant. For example, when you have a dream, we have so many different types of dream, right? Sometimes you say, oh, elephant. Sometimes you say you have a big house, big car in the dream. You can perceive only while you are sleeping. After you fully woke up, you cannot say anymore. But you remember the dream. You remember the dream, but you cannot see the dream. The dream can see when you are sleeping. Also, when you have a deep sleep, where you can say very deep sleep, we can say heavy, Tibetan use, heavy sleep, deep sleep. When you have a deep sleeping, then no more dream. Sometimes you don't have any dream, since after you sleep until you woke up, no dream. That means you have a heavy, deep sleeping, no dream. When you have a lot of dream, this means you are in kind of light sleeping. That means the mental, elephant, whatever is included into the mental object. Mental object. It is mental object. Now related to the dream elephant, just think about, when you are sleeping, you saw the beautiful object. That time you feel happy. Happy. Also, when you have a very scary dream, your dear one passing away, or you lost your house, you lost your job, you have a very scary dream. That time also you feel very unhappy. When you woke up, you feel you are not happy because you got the force from the dream. This stage is something right now we are fully awake, right? Awake. Then, when we see some beautiful object, we feel happy. When we see very ugly object, we feel very unhappy, very scary. When you fully understand, emptiness of all phenomena, emptiness of the ugly phenomena, emptiness of the beautiful phenomena, then when you see beautiful object, you don't have a sense of really attachment. When you see, ugly object, you don't have a sense of scary, sense of hatred, because for you, the beautiful object, ugly object is equal into emptiness. The nature is same. It's become ugly, become beautiful based on your projection. Projection, right? That means according to Buddhist philosophy, everything look like dream. When you fully woke up, there's a memory, but there's a nothing. When you fully understood the nature of the all phenomena, yes, we can say this is good, this is bad, this is big, this is small. It's mainly our mental level. For example, last time when we have a teaching from Rinpoche say, what is this? We say this is a cup. For us, this is a cup. Many insects who live in the cup, this cup is house for the insect. Is this house, is this cup depend on the being who are using. Right? For example, this house, look at think about this place. 2 years ago, this place was office. Now it's become TBC center. Next year, if somebody use as a look like it's karaoke, look like become karaoke very soon because we have already there, we have already here karaoke. Then say it's become karaoke. It depends on how we use it. Use as a center, use as an office, use as a karaoke, use as a bar. It's just how we use. There's nothing we can say. Ultimately, it's always like that. That's my dream elephant always include into mental object. But dream elephant is not the mind. Make sure it's not mind. It's kind of image of the mind. Image of the mind. For example, when you imagine a flower, the flower appear into your mind. If the flower is not mind, the mind is not a flower. But there's a link. Clear? There's a link. That means mental object. Okay, non-necessary formation, the time, energy, everything into there. Now we studied a little bit about non-necessary formation. Mainly we studied about the definition. Okay, chapter number 10, non-associated formative formation factors. So we have been, using many, English Dharma books, right? So this book translated by whom? Yeah, Thupten Jinpa, right? Edited by Thupten Jinpa. He is one of the best English translator. He is a Geshe. After he became Geshe, he went to Oxford, right? For a few years. He is one of the best translator. So when you read the Dharma books, the English translator is the most accurate when we study Dharma. This is very good. But still also there's something, I think, mistake. But it's not mistake by him. I think mistake by the typer who typed this letter. Earlier we spoke of how conditioned phenomena consists of three main types. What is the number one? Material phenomena. Okay, material can be like a type of form, material phenomena, or is mainly come from the four elements. Then consciousness, which is non-physical. So many times he used physical, non-physical. When you look at the non-physical phenomenon. Third one, seated, formative, formation. Non-seated mean, look at all consciousness. We have two types of consciousness, right? What are they? Man and mental factor. So man and mental factor always associated each other. That means non-seated formation never associated with as a consciousness, which is belong neither to matter nor consciousness. So this is the kind of definition. To present the third category, namely non-seated formative factor, its definition is posited. What is the definition? Neither material form nor consciousness. Please memorize the definition. Only definition, huh? I'm not saying memorize all text. Only this sentence. This is a definition. They are called non-associative formative factors since they are aggregates of the formation. There is not, look now, that is not concomitant with the mind. Actually, this is what I mean, non-seated. The mind. Intense, including three characters of the arising, disintegrating, enduring of the was. This is talking about time, is a time of the year, month, day, person, propensity, things impermanent, functions such as a was holding water, and direction such as the east, south, west, north, all of the include into where? Non-associated formative. So here you must remember the three things here. Include the three characteristics of the arising, disintegrating, enduring of the was. What we call three characteristics of the conditioned phenomena. Okay? The arising, enduring, and the disintegrator of the was refer to, for example, the new arising of the was that did exist before. I think this is kind of mistake, right? Can you see he said the arising, enduring, and disintegration of the was referred to. For example, the new arising of the was that did exist before. Did or did not? Huh? Did not, right? Did not. There must be did not. Should not say did. It did exist, then we cannot say it's a new arising. For example, the new arising of the was that did not exist before. The was enduring in its own time, and the non-endurance of the was in the second moment is the aftermath of the own temporal existence. Okay, so those are the definition and example. Now we just we study a little bit about the person. The next paragraph, the topic of time, years, months, and so on will be addressed below as for person. It is phenomena, no study about the person. It is a phenomena imputed, right? Imputed on what? 4 or 5 aggregates. Now you know the definition of the person. What does mean person? What does mean being? It is a phenomena. It is a phenomena inputed on how many? 4 or 5. You know, optionally there's a 2, 4 or 5. Given that all three material form, consciousness, non-stated, formative, formation are the basis of the designation of the 10%. Right? That means here person and being is a similar meaning. Person not refer to only human being. You know, all sentient beings are phenomena inputted on 4 or 5 aggregates. Mainly form, consciousness, no-stated, formative, formation are the basis for the designation of the 10%. Now, when we say person, when we say being, that all being, all sentient being, designated as a person or being based on what? 3. Form, consciousness, no-stated, formation as a desire being. Right? Now you must please remember, you must think, I have a body, but I am not a body. I have a consciousness, but I am not consciousness. Okay? But as a being, I'm a designated. I'm the just designated based on the 4 or 5 aggregates. Right? Aggregates. Now here what we learn, it was form. Then we say consciousness. When you say, I'm very healthy, you are mainly talking about your physical form, based on the form. If you don't have any physical problem, you consider very healthy. Right? Mainly we talk from based on the physical things. Then second you say, oh, today I am not happy. Today I am very happy. It's mainly talking based on mental or consciousness. Consciousness. Right? Consciousness. And also when we say, oh, the person is look beautiful, the person looks ugly, is also based on the material or form. This means sometimes we designate person based on the form, sometimes we designate person as a consciousness. Then third, we say, oh, the person is very educated, the person is very capable. Right? We are neither talking about the physical side, we are not talking about the consciousness side. We are talking about the capacity. That's why the knowledge, capable, capacity, ability, all of them include into the third. No, formative. Because the person is a being, but he is a capable, he is a capacity. The based on this we name as a knowledgeable, experience. Right? This mainly include into the third. Okay, as a homework, so we don't have a lot of time. Please try to remember the 14 types of non-static formative factor. 14 types. Number 1. 14. Number 1. No. Please do homework. Remember the 14 types of formative factor, right? Number 1. Number 2, plus. 14 plus. There's another totally, page number 147. Right? 14, thus making 23. 14 plus another, no, 14, 1, another 9. 23. Yeah. Then not only that, 23, then there's another, I think, Yeah. So that means 3, 1, 14, number then 9, then another 23. So those are the include into the non-OCD formative formation. Simply, you can do homework, page number 142 all the way to 148. 48. Now his homework must be very serious, huh? Uh-huh.
Okay, on this chapter 10, second paragraph, right?
Chapter 10, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Associated. Second paragraph, right? The fifth line,
Mm-hmm.
they have these three characteristics
Yeah.
of phenomenon. Why do they, is it must be in that order as arising, disintegrate, and then enduring? Isn't it arising, enduring, and then disintegrate?
Okay. There's again very good question. According to, it depends on the which school you follow. The first lower school, for example, is a very common view. For example, we were born. Right now is a time for enduring. Enduring is we are remaining. Then when we die, then disintegrating. There's an order. First, arising, enduring, then disintegration. There's an order in the gross level. Subtle level is simultaneous. Simultaneous. For example, when you say something arise, is arise also is part of disintegration of the previous phenomena. Is enduring because you can see that there. For example, let's say, for example, first moment, then second come the second moment. Second moment come after first moment. First moment fully disintegrate, then second moment arise. Is arise means is part of the disintegration. Part of the arising, also part of the enduring. That means it happens simultaneously. So that's why you can read more, all the sentence is mentioned very clearly. Also, that means when the was come into exist, three of exist together. Is arise, enduring, disintegrate. Right? And you think very precisely, it really is feel a bit scary. For example, it's, whatever things, condition, phenomena exist how long? One moment, then finish. One moment, then finish. For example, right now we are in the TBC, so you come from in different places. Right now I am here. I come from my office. I come from my house. I come from so and so. You think I am come from? That means you are remember your experience. You are there. You come here. You have the memory. The people who sit here right now, open the book, study. These people is not really come from there. You are finish. Yeah. So that means all conditioned phenomena just one moment. Then just remember your childhood time, then teenager time, then your university time. Everything you just have a memory in your mind. If you really look at, everything has gone. Everything has gone. No university, no childhood, no teenager, nothing. You're just this moment. This moment. Right? That's mean if you think this way, then you feel very unhappy because somebody really bother you. Somebody really make you angry. But the person has gone. The person already passed away a few years ago, but you still remember the person. You get very angry. But you not really can see the person. You can recall the person because you have the memory. All the memory, what we call imprint. Imprint, potential, propensity. Right? That's what we call all phenomena is impermanent, is changing momentarily, one moment, one moment, one moment, one moment. It's changing momentarily. Okay, so we have maybe 10 minutes. Everybody just do analytical meditation about your body. Analytical, I mean, you just analyze your body, how it exists. Exists depend on the 4 elements. Ready? Okay, you just follow. I said you just focus. You just think. Okay, generally you think, I am here. Right? I am here. I am here. When you say I am here, you have a mind which you think I am here. Actually, your body is here. His body is sitting on the mattress. Then you think, oh, I have a, beautiful body. I have a nice body, strong body, whatever. Just imagine your body. The body which you consider is a very healthy, strong, beautiful, ugly, whatever, is made of 4 elements. Earth, the flesh, the bone, the skin, the fat in your body, the heart, lungs, earth. All parts of your body contain blood, water elements. When you touch any parts of your body, you can feel there's a heat, warmness, fire elements. When you look at your head, inside there's a brain. The brain exists in the empty of the skull cup. All the air, energy, blood running all parts of your body because there's an empty space within the channels, knobs, and chakras. Within the blood, there are so many blood cells. Just focus one piece of blood cell is a round, color is red. When you open it, also you can see inside there are so many small cells. Open one of the small cell, still you can see within inside there's many other types of cells. Now you just fully try to understand your body. Consider as a very nice, beautiful. When you open all parts of your body, there's nothing, any piece, any part, which is really reasonable to say I touch. This is your body. Now you, as a human being, you are included into non-associative formative factor. Neither your form nor consciousness. You have a form, but you are not a form. You have a consciousness, you have all kinds of emotions, but you are none of them. You are merely, only designated based on 5 aggregates: form, feeling, discrimination, consciousness, non-associative formative factor. Those are the basis to designate as a being, as a person. You are not totally separate from the body, neither separate from the consciousness. When your physical body in balance is a fully balanced, 4 elements remains very balancedly, you consider you are very healthy. Healthy very much depends on the balance of 4 elements. When you say, I'm very happy, I'm not happy, that means you merely designated based on minds, mental factors, emotions. When you think I'm very educated, I'm very capable, the capacity, all include into non-associative formative. The being, the person, the friends, relatives, all of them just merely only designated based on form, consciousness. When the 4 elements change in your body will change. When the 4 elements in your body degenerate, disintegrate, your body slowly going to decompose. Finally, 4 elements cannot support anymore. Then at the end, you have to leave the body, because the body cannot support anymore you, because the 4 elements cannot support anymore the body. That's why the consciousness cannot remain without 5 elements, merely the air elements. Okay, so we can stop here today class. Please don't forget the homework. Okay.